Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to JP Broadcasting, and welcome in to the J2iCS series, the Just Two Idiots Cup series for the round 5 of the Sprint Championship here in the F3 cars for Season 8 live at Misano here this evening. I'm your commentator, Hamish, Munro, joined once again by the great Jim Cunningham alongside Jim. We head over to Italy, right by the sea, in the land of the boot, and tonight we're in for some incredible action around a circuit that's more well known for motorcycle racing more so than car racing itself, although open wheelers do come here for the local European series. But first of all, how are you, Jim? And second of all, I'm very excited because I love Misano. I wanted it on iRacing for so long, and my wish was granted when it was added to the service.
Yeah, good to be here with you. Doing good. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited. I don't know a lot about this track. Obviously, I did some reading up on it and things like that. And, it's I actually thought it was going to be smaller than it is. It's a little wider than I actually thought it was going to be. There's going to be plenty of room for these cars to go side by side and stuff. My concern was when they called it a motorcycle track that it wasn't going to have room to pass. But from the looks of things, it certainly has got the room. How do the corners shape up for passing around here? Is there some good passing zones, some heavy braking, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, there's some good passing zones. I mean, GT cars race here often enough, so they obviously get some good passing opportunities. The track is also on Seto Corsa Competizione as well as iRacing, so some drivers who may have run on that sim have had some practice around here. But yeah, there's good passing opportunities, good opportunities in the toe as well. Used to that long back section of the circuit, which runs down towards the little heel kick at the end of the track map on the right hand side. You can get in the toe and you can just sit in it for days, save fuel, get the passing opportunity down into the hard braking zone at the very end. It's a track where you mentioned it is wide. Just because it's a motorcycle circuit does not mean it's going to be thin, Jim. We're not running single trail here. We're running on what is an A grade racing circuit in Italy.
Single trail.
No, well,
here we go.
What, you said this to me. What do you think this is like the Isle of Man? Do you? It's just surrounded by trees and houses.
I guess I didn't think it was going to. No, I just thought it was going to be a narrower circuit, kind of like maybe. I'm going to say it wrong, but oh crap, Tezuka, or no, what's the name of that?
What's scuba circuit?
Yeah, the one in the Japan one that they use for like drifting and stuff. Yeah, Tsukuba.
Well,
I was kind of imagining.
Tsukuba doesn't have motorcycle racing on it that often.
No, I know.
Also has,
I was just envisioning
drifting events.
I was envisioning a track that was a little narrower like that.
I would say
this is a great looking circuit. I mean,
yeah, I think the minimum width for motorcycle racing would probably be Motegi or Okayama, maybe. Trying to think of what's on the MotoGP calendar. Everything's pretty wide. I mean, think of Phillip Island, it's a pretty wide circuit. You think of Catalunya, wide circuit. Yeah. Portimao, wide circuit. Mugello.
Barber in the United States.
Barber, yep.
I mean, I guess I kind of thought more like Barber, maybe even. Because, Barber is narrower than this. Maybe that's what I thought. Something like Barber.
Maybe,
not something that was not Isle of Man, but just something that was going to be a little, just something that was going to make
Mount Washington hill climb course, apparently, just surrounded by trees.
That's right. So speaking of Isle of Man, I really want to do that at some point in time in my life, just once. Just want to go see it. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
It's an opportunity that I think a lot of motorsport fans would want to experience at some point. It's definitely on my bucket list alongside the likes of the Erzberg Rodeo and Romaniacs and stuff like that, especially for bike racing. So it's it's an event that I want to go see at some point. But tonight we're in for the Sprint Series. After a great endurance race last week for the Crown Jewel race last week as well, the GTP cars.
That was a fun race last week.
It was. It was really very wet at Road Atlanta, and it turned the tap on for us for sure. We said they were at Misano here tonight. Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. It's a circuit that will offer great tests, great passing opportunities. I think it should offer us some great racing too. Hopefully, we get some nice little battle packs formed throughout this race, Jim. I think that's going to be the important factor for some of these cars. If I just quickly check the format, of course, we have 2 races here tonight, a 20 minutes heat, and then another 20-minute heat, so it might even be 3 races possibly, actually. I'll have to double check that afterwards. But we're definitely in for some good racing, multiple races on offer as well. We've got 10 minutes on the clock at the moment here in qualifying for the session state. At the moment, Squilliam sits provisional pole position in the standings with a 127.79, the only driver to get into the 27s at the moment. He is challenged by Nodovan at this stage in P2 with a 128.1, Nick Beaver in P3, 128.37, Bozak and Urko inside of the top 5, separated by barely a whisper. And, you know, the close lap times, Jim, which I'm not surprised by. I've had plenty of opportunity to call racing in the F3 car or even the SFLs as well. And when the field is so closely contested, it always leads to great racing, especially when the lap times are this close.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I think this is going to be some good racing tonight. I'm excited now, especially after seeing the track. Not that I wasn't, but I just had this vision that it was going to be a no passing kind of track, but clearly that's not going to be the case. It's going to be fun. So I thought maybe now might be a good time to try to touch on the points while we're in the midst of qualifying. I'm not exactly sure if this is going to work or not. This was
one way to find out, Jim.
This is my first shot at doing this, so let's see what happens here. Hey, there they are. That can't be right, though. That's not right.
Yeah, it looks like too small amount of points.
Yeah, that's definitely not right. That's not the points I put in today. Okay, well, we'll hide that for a second.
We know that it somewhat works, but
well, hold on. It may be something simple. Let me just talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, at this stage, I think that what the drivers will be loving right now is that there is no semblance of cloud cover whatsoever.
Yes.
After literally being thrown in at the deep end of the pool at Road Atlanta last week. If I quickly have a look at the radar, we are clear skies ahead, Jim. So it should be nice.
The forecast showed nothing, so that's good.
Yeah.
Right,
so it should be nice, blue, sunny skies for us here in Misano this evening. But the Sprint Series has thrown up some fantastic racing all season, especially if we think back to round 1, back at Interlagos, the amount of chaos that we had at that circuit very early on in the race. I think tonight, do we see some more chaos? Quite possibly throughout the first sector as well. But it's going to be a track that will separate the contenders from the pretenders, Jim. And for Squilliam, Nodovan, Nick Beaver, they want to try and run a clean race, get some good points in this championship, and continue to fight for their championship standings as well.
Yeah, and as far as chaos goes, short of anything weird happening, I think it's probably going to be pretty smooth. It'll be interesting to see. We've been lucky enough to have some people get put back in the field over the course of some of the races that we've had this year, and we've been able to watch them come back up through the field, and that in itself has been quite entertaining. So we've really been lucky. We got to see Nodovan do it at Chicago. Of course, in the endurance last week, Squilliam was kind of putting on a show until it got away from him there a little bit. So I think I'm hoping that we get that kind of show tonight, maybe a little something exciting going on or something. So let's see here. We're going to give this points thing one more try and see if I've done anything. No. Interesting. I have.
Oh, well.
Anyway, I do have that information. So, unfortunately, the way I have it is not in numerical order. But we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll pull it up and we'll go over that in a minute. So I see a purple over there. Who's that? Is that Nodovan? Yeah, it was a Nodovan with a purple sector.
It would be. Yeah.
I love the little sector things on the bottom. Oh, we're right at the end. This is it right here.
It's keeping us in tap, so it's going to cut off though once it hits the 15. So
Yep.
there's not much time for them, and not even that she pulled out of the lap at this stage as well.
All right, so
I think that's going to be qualifying done and dusted pretty much, unless
I think so.
AJ can get across the line. He can't. So qualifying done and dusted at Misano, and it's Squilliam who's now found himself in pole position. He'll start pole alongside Nodovan on the front row. Urko and Nick Beaver will then make up the top 4. Simply Steve and Bozak for the top 6. Jason Warnaki and DC for the top 8. With Eat My Dust and Black Bob Wallace for the top 10. Nicoletta Gavin Amerman for your top 12, with Ryan Schwab and Yamega for the 14. With AJ Sneezy Jr., Pebble and Paper Bag making up the end of the standings here in qualifying.
Hey, Paper Bags from Texas.
So we've got I think we've got a good race on our hands today, Jim.
I'm ready. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think we're going to be in for something quite spectacular. Once again, of course, the timer trickling down. Lights are going to go up though for race number 1 here this evening. Squilliam on the pole, Nodovan alongside. Who is going to get the jump down towards turn 1? Lap 1, we are underway here at Misano. It was a good start from the front runners as we run through for the first time. A little bit of a knock-on effect though in the background, so there's a little bit of damage to some of those cars, but Squilliam, Nodovan, Urko and Beaver have gotten away nicely and out of trouble at this stage. Wilwanaki though has run it wide. He's missing his rear wing further back there, Jim, so he's going to have to come into pit lane and get that car fixed up. But this battle at the front of the field is looking pretty good, but unfortunately for Wilwanaki, it's not what he would have hoped for.
Yeah, that's not a great start for him for sure. Yeah, we've had a couple of people run off track, but it's a relatively clean start.
Yeah, I think the pressure that's being applied from some drivers, Beaver hot on the heels of Urko at the moment, as Wanaki's just lost it once again, so he's unfortunately trying to get that thing back to pit lane. He's not quite there just yet. Where is he actually? Oh, he's going again, which is good to see. But Beaver is hot on the heels of Urko into the braking zone, so he wants to make moves early. Does Beaver? Well, Nodovan wants to try and keep it clean for the 20 minutes, I would assume.
Yes, and I'm so horrible. I do so many different series I cannot remember. Do we invert here or no?
Yes,
okay.
I believe we do.
Okay. Yeah, I do so many series I forget sometimes. I think
yeah, so do I. I think from memory it's top 8 invert.
I believe that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pressure that's being applied, from some of these drivers already. I mean, Steve and Beaver putting all sorts of pressure at the moment on Urko.
Yes.
Who's got the pressure on him at the moment as we run round towards the back section of this circuit.
Let's maybe take a look at from Steve's point of view there, what's going on as well.
Yeah, which I have got ready to go for you. So there we go. We can see the kind of pressure that he's having to apply on Beaver and Urko as well. If we run up to the next car, we can see on board with Beaver now as he puts this pressure on ahead of him as well. So he's actually starting to try and chase down. You can't quite see it from his camera view in his helmet, but if we ride on his roll bar, we can see he's just trying to sit in the tow with Urko, not let him run away just yet. The problem now, though, is up ahead of them. I mean, Nodovan and Squilliam have now started to run away from them at this point. So it's becoming where they need to now try and chase them down as best as possible to just continue to apply the pressure, because we can see on the bottom there, that's the front pack battle. And on the big screen, we've got the battle in behind, but you can see how big the gap is starting to get here, Jim, between them.
It is starting to stretch out a little bit, isn't it? So, let's take a look right here.
So Urko, though, he's actually got some good pace at this stage. We've got the front and the back of the battle at the moment. He's actually now set the fast lap of the race, 128.95. Although we would expect those lap times to start to come down pretty swiftly at this stage.
Yep.
You know, but the more that, yeah, what's his lap times like at the moment? There he is there. He's got some solid pace on him at the moment.
He does.
Ooh. Paper bag those had a moment. What has happened to him further back in the field? Let's have a look here. Is it actually going to show me? Here we go. So that's another good thing about the double view is I can actually go to replay whilst we have the live on the top.
Yes, well, that's what I was going to say as well. We've got a new feature here we're playing with a little bit tonight here with J2iCS. It's our first attempt here at a picture-in-picture, and we can bring you live action with replays this way, and we don't miss as much from the live action. And also do outside and inside the car views and things like that. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this tonight, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find a way to keep it fun and entertaining for everyone, Jim. You know us.
I'm sure we will.
So both of them now have actually started to break away. Urko and Beaver have actually now started to break away from Simply Steven behind them. A little bit of a lock-up, though, from Urko into the tight right-hander. But for Beaver, he is doing everything he needs to at this stage. He's just continuing to apply pressure, continuing to try and chase down Urko as Squilliam now sets fast up the race, 128.15 at this stage. But running it wide is Urko off the exit of that corner. Here comes Beaver. He's going to have to go the long way around into the braking zone if he wants to get this move done. Side by side between them. Has he got the grip, Jim? I don't know if he does, but it's going to be determined now. It's a drag race, pretty much, down to the hard braking zone at the end of the straight.
Yes, you can see his car out there.
Can't quite get it just yet, and that's one of the difficulties with this circuit, is the pressure that can be applied. But if you get hung out on the wide line, you can't quite get moves made. And that is one of the big tests here at Misano as we start lap number 5 now of this race. We're 6 minutes into it. The pressure, though, that Beaver is applying to Urko is nothing short of pretty much of a Chinese masseuse with the little blocks of wood they might drill into your neck to try and fix some back issues. It almost seems unbearable, but it feels nice in the same way.
I'm not even.
I used to get deep tissue massage, Jim. It felt quite nice. It was good for the joints. I used to have really bad lower back pain. That's what it helped with a lot, actually, as well. So,
yeah, I did something to mine. I'm hobbling around right now a little bit. I thought Urko was I thought Beaver was gonna send it back in there again. He looks like he's trying to set something up here. Let's see. Okay, you're there. Yeah,
he's having to try and set it at the moment. But he wants inside line. Not much more Urko can do as they run down the straight. Paperbag's had another spin, so we're not going to compound his sadness by showing that one.
Yeah.
Again, for him. As Beaver now gets past, which is good to see.
Oof. The car was loose right there. He was definitely loose on the throttle.
Further back, Jim, we've got this battle happening here. Black Bob Wallace and AJ battling for position further back in the field at the moment.
Yeah, I
and
came
this
to
is
him
for P10. So we've got a good one at the moment.
Yeah, that is a good battle. There's a nice battle happening back there right behind them too.
Yeah, Sneezy Jr. and Gavin Amerman battling with each other at the moment as well, which is good to see. So there's battles all throughout the field at this stage. Amerman wanting to try and do as well as his teammate William, who leads the way at the moment. But this is looking to turn into a nice little Fatal 4-Way-esque battle pack here, Jim. All different drivers from all different teams. Here comes Junior, though, up the inside of Amerman. He'll get the inside line at the next corner, though. Oof. And that's kind of the... Oh, that was Ryan Schwab who just went around in the background, actually.
Did it? All right, I'm going to drop back and cover that Eamon battle. You go ahead and take a look at that replay.
Is it even going to show it to me? That's the problem. It hasn't even given me a thing for it. So I don't know if I can. Yeah, let's see here. Let's go to this one. This was the pass. So if we look back at Schwab, this was the moment that he had down at that corner. It was a minor spin. But one that, he kind of ran it a bit loose through these corners.
Oh yeah,
a bit
he's
too
all
much
over.
speed, and yeah.
I mean,
he caught it though, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did well to catch it.
He did. Let me switch this to.
So, bottom screen, we've got Beaver and Urko battling it out. The top screen is the battle between Amerman and Sneezy Jr. Beaver up the inside, then to the outside of Urko. Can he finally offload? He can. So Beaver now gets up onto the podium, but Urko's going to come straight back at him. But they've got to be careful of Simply Steve. Luckily, though, for Urko, he's got the backup of his teammate at the back of this battle in DC.
Let's do this since you got that going on. Let's try this right here.
There we go. So Steve at this stage runs it a little bit wide, but still hanging with them. So this is now starting to drag more and more cars into this. The more that they battle here, Jim, the easier it's going to be for Eat My Dust and Bozak to continue to chase down this gap. It's now down to under a second off the back of DC to Eat My Dust, and it's going to go from 4 cars to 6 in a matter of moments. Could it even get up to 7 if Nicolator chases them down too?
Yeah, I mean, and it certainly can. Especially if any of these cars get together a little bit and start battling like right here, you know, that's going to start causing Urko to maybe do a little defensive driving, which is going to in turn slow him down. And
well, I think Beaver's, luckily for him, he's started to break away a little bit, which is good.
This circuit has a nice flow to it.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like really rhythmic circuit, you know, like I could see you getting, this is the kind of circuit you can put some music on and just get out there and, you know, and drive and get into a rhythm.
Yeah, I think it's one where it's not too much stop-start.
Right.
The biggest stop-start is probably the hairpins at either end of the circuit, where you've come off a really fast-flowing section into the nice little tight corners, but I think it's really well balanced in how many of those tight corners it has in comparison to the more fast-flowing corners, as Steve shoots it up the inside of Urko. Can't do anything about it. Can his teammate DC help him out, though? He wants to run down the inside. Are both of the faux Ferraris going to go for it? No, DC is going to run an outside line. Oh, there's contact, though, with Urko and Steve. They've managed to get out of it somehow. But here comes Eat My Dust and Bozak. They're starting to put the pressure on them.
Indeed, yeah, this is turning into quite a battle here. And it's 4 cars right there, I mean, truly battling. And then you got Bozak coming up from behind. And he's in the mix now, so.
He's right in this contest.
This is
Bozak at the moment.
It's
turned into a great battle. Yeah, and
Steve!
We say that though. Eat My Dust has gone
No,
round.
that was Eat My Dust. Oh, I thought it was Steve. Oh,
I don't know if there was any contact there. Let's have a quick look.
I'll look at it.
Let's see what's happened to him. Let's keep an eye on this. So what's happened? Was there contact? There was initial contact on the front end. Oh, he just did it by himself.
Yeah, no, well, he ran it. He ran it in there deep, and I got heavy on the brakes, I think, and his bias was probably set wrong, and it just came around on him. He probably has biased a little too far back. Yeah, that was a self spin, but you know well, that certainly didn't kill him though. I mean, he's just
he's kept going. If we head back to live,
he's sitting in the gold mine spot right now. If I'm being honest,
he is. Yeah, he is. When we head back to live, though, we've got Urko still battling away with Steve and DC. I'm on board with Bozak at the moment as he puts the pressure on them further up from Eat My Dust. So he relatively speaking, he didn't actually lose too much, Jim.
No, he really didn't.
Out of all that,
considering what happened, no, not at all. And like I said, he's sitting in the spot right now with what do we got left in this race? 7 minutes. So with 7 minutes to go, he's sitting in 8th spot. You know, I might, I might be willing to just stay there since it's going to be almost impossible for him to catch him without some issue. Just try to hold on to that 8th spot and use that for the next race. Oh, who's that around in your picture?
That was Paper Bag who went around.
Oh, poor Paper Bag. He's having a rough one.
Yeah, he really is. Unfortunately, I saw though he also crashed afterwards, so it must have gotten a lot worse for him.
I don't know if he's new to this series, but if he is,
no, he was here in round 1. Unfortunately, he's an A-class driver now. I was going to say he's one of the rookies, but he's not. That's Pebble, who's one of the rookies. So
yeah, no, he's yeah, this car's tough to drive though. People don't realize, man, this is not like a super Formula Lights car at all.
Sam Casinos, who I'm very well aware of. I've called a lot of Sam's races in the chat. What are all these driver names? They are their Discord names, Sam. So the series, they run their Discord names in the standings and in iRacing.
Trust me, it's just as tough for us.
Yeah, I think we're about 10 rounds in across both their series at this point, and still interests me how we remember who everyone is.
I'm at least comfortable now with the names, you know, but I was trying to put the points in earlier, which clearly didn't work. I'll work on that for next week. Excuse me. But when I went to match up their real names for the points with their Discord name, I was really struggling. So there's only a few of them I actually know their real name.
Oh, we know that Nick Beaver's name, even though his Discord name is Beaver, his name is Nick Beaver, so we know that. Well, Jason Winaki is correctly known as Cat Daddy. Gavin Amon's got his nickname too, but they haven't got them set. Actually, Jim, can you try and pronounce Sam's last name for me? Because I'm the only person who's ever been able to pronounce it correctly.
All right, well, let's see here. I'll take a swing at it. All right, it's... Catacozinos.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's better than some attempts I've heard, Jim. That's pretty good.
Catacozinos. Catacozinos. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty close.
Catacozinos. Yeah, you were pretty close. I'm actually impressed, Jim. I'm very impressed.
Well, that took a minute.
For someone who says all, you said Catacozinos pretty well. I mean, that's the fair effort from you.
What do I say? All.
Yeah, all. I see. He's given you a pass, Jim. You've done well. You can pronounce a Greek name. Congratulations.
Indeed. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Ooh, Black Bob Wallace. You're not meant to be out there, son.
No, he's not.
Get him a bucket and spade. He's stuck in the sand. He's got it going again, but it's without
Where's
the
his
front
umbrella?
Exactly. Where's the umbrella? Skillian P1 at the moment. Nodovan is trying to chase him down at this stage. So we've started to spread just a little bit now. Here, Jim, the closest battle is Sneezy Jr. and AJ as they continue their battle. So we'll keep an eye on those front runners as these two battle on in the bottom screen at this stage. Beaver's done well though. He's broken away nicely from DC, Stephen Bozak, and that's come down to the fact that they've been battling, and that's what's allowed him to break away at this point. So
yes, there's just a nice gap between all these guys up here right now. They're no real close battles at all.
Well, to be fair, we've only got 2.5 minutes to go.
Right.
So it was always going to spread just a bit. At this point as well. It's good that we've still got one battle on track, which is good to see, of AJ and Sneezy Jr. too. So they've kept their fight going, and it's all for P10 as Steve continues to chase down DC. Maybe bent the tires out a little bit too much. As AJ is going to cover that inside line from Sneezy, he can't quite get there at this stage. I think though, Jim, we've done quite well for the double view tonight.
It's been great so far. I tell you what, I don't know about anybody out there watching, but from my perspective, it's a better way to watch a race. I think. I mean, you know.
Well, it means
I can't.
if you go to replay, you get the live shot still, and you can choose which one gets the replay.
Right, and if it's a
Yeah,
major
as I said,
incident, you put it on the big
yeah,
screen. Yeah, I think it's great.
and you can also get so many more battles on track as well. I've just seen as well, Eamon is now started to chase down these guys up ahead of him of Junior and AJ. So this battle's now started to heat up just a little bit between them all, with only a few minutes left, or about a minute left of this race. So
Yeah,
how far away is Squilliam from the end? He is coming down. They're the F3 cars, Sam. So the old Dallara F3s. So Squilliam's about to start his final lap, Jim. So let's maybe kill the double view for the final lap, and we'll just get the leader and keep an eye on how he's going for what needs to be just a nice clean lap to the end.
Yeah, he put on a show here for sure. I mean, let's see who had fast lap. He did. He's the only one that ran in the 127s. That's pretty impressive.
We know that he's been arguably the strongest competitor of the whole field in the F3 car. He has done well in the GTP in the second week, but Beaver's been pretty much the strongest competitor in that endurance series, where Squilliam's been the one to take the honors here in the F3s most weeks. So
and what's funny is, though, right here, sandwiched in the middle is Nodovan, who's so far doing great in both series. I mean, he drives both cars very well, which is not easy to do.
He's been the real sort of chaotic neutral, where Squilliam's maybe been the neutral good and Beaver's been the chaotic good, or whatever it might be.
It's been quite a while since I've heard those references. That's pretty interesting. Yes.
Well, if you think about it like a Venn diagram, Squilliam's to one side, Beaver's the other, and Nodovan's right in the middle.
He is.
As they kind of sit right now. But as Squilliam comes up towards the line, he'll take win in race number 1 here this evening at Misano. Nodovan and Beaver for your top 3. And then DC and Simply Steve, who are quite a world's back, actually, around the final corner. They'll finish P4 and P5 with Bozak just in behind. Urko is under pressure from Eat My Dust, though, up to the line. It's a drag race. Oh my God, he got there by 1/100th of a second for P7.
That was, who was that? That was Eat My Dust.
Eat My Dust and Urko.
I think this might.
So if you just click on checkered flag whilst you're focused on them, that'll give you their final battle towards the end.
Yeah, all right, let's do that.
Nicolator and AJ have made up the top 10. Gavin Amerman, Sneezy, Junior Omega, Black Bob Wallace, Ryan Schwab, Pebble, Jason Wanaki, the old cat daddy himself, and Paperbag at the back of the field. As we watch this end, once again, we'll have a quick chat to Nodovan for P2 on the road here this evening. Nodovan, congratulations. P2 on the road for you in race number 1 here this evening. Thoughts about Misano? I was already a big fan of this track. Jim, I think, has become a big fan of this track as we watch this finish between Eat My Dust and Urko. See how close it was, Jim? About as close as you want it to get. But Jim noticed, and I already knew about it, this track's got a great flow to it. How was it in the F3 car?
Yeah, the F3 car, the setup here is actually very loose. It's like you have to kind of be really precise with your inputs, or else the back end's going to snap around you. So it's I think that's going to be something to look out for when we are out on worn tires. But it's really fun. It has a decent flow. I just wish the setup was a little bit more stable, because it's a little bit too loose for my liking.
Now, coming into race 2, how are you feeling? Obviously 40 minutes, tires are going to get a little bit more worn. I mean, this track likes to eat tires for breakfast if you don't look after them. What's the strategy going into that one? Of course, so an inverted grid, so that puts you a little bit further back in the pack. What's the thought process? What's the plan going into this race? Because it's pretty much going to come down to how clean you can keep it, but also how close you can stick with Squilliam for the majority, pretty much.
Yeah, this one might be a little tricky, because despite having all these long straights, this track is actually kind of hard to pass at. It's just kind of, and the toe's not as strong as I thought it was. I think I was at one point I was half a second behind Squid, and I like the toe was like maybe a tenth or two. It wasn't as strong as I would have liked, but definitely gonna have to take care of the tires as we go through the field. That'll be an interesting aspect, but yeah.
I think it's it's a great track to battle at. It's hard to pass because I think it's quite easy to defend. You can run too wide through a lot of corners, and the way that the track flows, if you've picked your line correctly at the start of the corner, that can then determine by the end of say 3 or 4 corners you then keep position. It's one that I think you've got to almost have a strategy for and get a bit calculated in how you're actually going to attack the next corner. We've got a nice little warm up session obviously at the moment, but 40 minutes, look after tires, stay in the battle. It's pretty much all you've got to do, and then hope that you can try and get through nice and clean. Do you expect with the inverted grid that we may get some carnage here early in this race?
I don't know. I thought the first lap was actually pretty tidy from the front, at least. You didn't have anyone completely sending it on your inside or nothing. If you just kind of covered it off, you were okay. You didn't have anyone bumping into you. But tires are definitely going to be a little interesting because they are kind of cold. Like I think on the first lap, I actually almost locked up into Squilliam on the first lap. It was really close. I locked up the backs and I was like, oh no, not again. But it's just something to look out for as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, is there anyone you need to give a shout out to, not of them, before we let you go? Any sponsors or friends and family that may be watching?
Yeah, I'd like to give out a shout out to the night racing team. We're doing quite a few endurance races this next week, so hoping everyone the best there.
Very good. Best of luck in race 2. We look forward to seeing how you go.
Yeah,
I just cut him off there. Sorry, Donovan. I didn't think he was going to talk at the very end. That's fine. Next up, though, we got P1 on the road in Squilliam, who took maximum points in race number 1. Squilliam, congratulations. I did unfortunately just cut off Donovan as he was saying goodbye to us there, but welcome in. P1, race 1. Couldn't ask for any more than that, could you?
No, definitely not. It was a good time. So
a little bit better of a time than lap 1 Road Atlanta last week in the rain, I would assume.
Much better. Yeah, that's not one of my better moments for sure. Completely ignored the fact that there's a new tire model. So yeah, not fun.
I think one that may have been clipped quite a few too many times by some people, possibly. But how'd you feel coming into this race? I mean, we mentioned amongst ourselves that this track's got a nice flow to it. It's one where you can battle quite well, but it's tough to make passes, obviously, because it's quite easy to defend if you're able to calculate and plan your moves. What was your strategy coming into race 1, and is that same strategy going to carry over into race 2, seeing as you'll be starting a little bit further back in the field?
Yeah, I mean, given usually the track temperature increases a good bit from our qualifying session to the first race session. So usually the first race for me is just figuring out where I can push the car and where the car is a bit sketchier now that the tires are getting hotter and the track's a little warmer. So now that I've kind of got my bearings, hopefully we can kind of smoothly get through the field. But I think this race is going to come down to tire management a little bit. It feels like the car in general really likes to heat up the rear tires, but around here especially, it's really about being smooth on not only your throttle input, but your steering inputs as well. So just going to try to focus on my own race, make moves where I can, and see what happens.
So pit strategy, you're going to try and go long, or you're going to try and come in a little bit earlier just to maybe undercut some of the field to save you some of those battles?
I usually opt for going long just because I try to stay on low fuel as much as possible because that's when the car is going to be the quickest. But if I feel like I'm getting held up and I think there's a good enough gap for me to pit into, I certainly wouldn't completely shout the idea of undercutting some people.
So, I mean, it's you've become almost the what we'll call it the left-hand side of the Venn diagram of J2iCS. You've been much more successful at this point in the F3 car than necessarily the GTP, where the GTP's been more or less Beaver's wheelhouse. We mentioned that Nodovan's kind of been in between both of you. He's pretty solid in both cars. How do you think the differences between each car is affecting your racing across both the categories? Because obviously you're having to practice, hop in and out of each car each week. how's that affecting your preparation leading into each round of the season, whether it's the sprint or the endurance championship?
Yeah, it's definitely a little tough to go between two very different cars. It's kind of always been a fun thing about this series, I think. But yeah, they're two very different cars. F3 obviously way lighter, and GTP, I think I really struggled on the tire model update that happened before they fixed it again. So I'm feeling stronger in the car now. Obviously, Road Atlanta didn't quite go my way, but I feel like that showed I have a lot of pace in the car, and I was really happy with how I was driving at the time. So I hope that I can translate that into some more stuff later in the endurance season. But yeah, it's definitely tough trying to switch between two cars that are just very different across the board. So.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, Scully, and we look forward to seeing how you go in race 2. Best of luck across the 40 minutes here at Misano. Hopefully you can keep your race nice and clean at the start and fight your way forward throughout the proceedings of race 2.
Hey,
yeah, I appreciate it.
By the way, real quick, you may have had some trouble at Road Atlanta, but you gave us a great show for that, whatever, 30 minutes or whatever it was that you were, or 45 minutes coming back up through the field and flying. You made that really, really fun. So
yeah, I certainly appreciate that. It was fun to watch the race back and hear the praises. So I appreciate that from you guys, and hopefully I'll be able to bring it to some more races in the future.
All right, man. Good luck to you tonight. I'm sure you're going to do quite well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, Jim, 40 minutes of racing to come our way. It's going to be a tough test. I wouldn't hope for him to do that again, because that means he's going to have a poor lap one.
Right.
Again, where he ends up at the back.
I'll tell you what, man, he filled a void that it develops in almost every endurance race. And, you know, I guess we're gridding here. No, we're not gridding yet.
No. We're still a couple minutes.
He filled that void where, there's just a gap in there where nothing, just kind of levels out. And while that was all going on, man, he was flying up through the field, and he was putting on a show. I mean, he really was. And let's be realistic. This auto racing is entertainment, and it should be that first and foremost. That's what it is. That's what pays the bills. It's entertainment. So, and he was entertaining.
Well, you know what, I think you can have a balance between that, Jim. Of you want it to be entertaining, make it good racing. Because with good racing, you get entertainment. Well, so maybe there's the balancing act of if you can keep it so then it's good racing, that's then when you get entertainment out of it.
Agreed. Did you see that coastline shot right there?
I did see that.
Wow.
It's making me very jealous.
I know, right? Makes me want to go there now. No, I agree. I mean, I agree. Good racing is entertaining, though. So, anything that brings them closer together, is a good thing. But that was an absolute show that he put on, though, man. I mean, just that was a blessing, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun, and I think race 2 tonight, we could be in for something special. I think what we're going to be in for, though, is it's going to have to be a really, really good, consistent run from some drivers to try and get this car to the end. I mean, it does not like losing its tyre grip, and for Misano, it's a tyre killer. So drivers are going to have to be cautious and careful and calculated and prepare themselves for 40 minutes of racing around here, because it's one where you can't take it lightly. You let the track come to you, let the race come to you, and let yourself get to grips with the car and track combination for what's about to come up. But for our starting grid here tonight, for race number 2, Eat My Dust will start ahead of Urco on the front row of the grid. Bozak, Simply, Steve for your top 4, DC, Nick Beaver. Donovan and Scullingham will then make up our inverted top 8 off the results of race number 1. The rest of the field will start how they finished, with Nicoletta and AJ making up the top 10. Gavin Amerman, Sneezy Jr., Yomega, Black Bob Wallace, Ryan Schwab, Pebble, Jason Winaki, the Cat Daddy himself, will start on the back row of the field with Paper Bag alongside him.
Yeah, both those guys had an unfortunate race 1. Paper Bag.
We're getting lights up, Jim, so let's get on the live shots.
Yep, sorry about that.
Sorry. It is a quick turnover for the grid. And we're underway with Eat My Dust. That was a jump start and a half from Simply Steve. I mean, that looks too good to be true as we run through turn number 1. And the pressure's already being applied at the front of the field. These drivers continue to put pressure on each other. As we run through 3, 4, and 5.
We probably should bring up our picture-in-picture so we can get a look at multiple battles going on here.
Yeah. Let's get our race timer as well, Jim, just so we can.
Yep.
Oh, we can keep an eye on it. They're getting closely contested, though. Further back here, you can see Squilliam starting to put pressure on, and there's contact with Bozak, and Squilliam goes over.
Oh, it's Bozak that went over, wasn't it?
It was Squilliam who went over. I'll get the replay happening whilst we keep an eye on the live shots. He's had to jump back to pits, but what in the hell has happened?
Oh my goodness!
Down at that heartbreak. So they've come in, contacts made, over goes Squilliam. So they've interlocked wheels somehow off that moment. So we'll try and get some different shots for you because this is a big one. I mean, this has got
huge.
big race implications for us.
Yes, huge implications.
And how this is played out. So riding on board with Bozak, there's the contact. And then off the front of that is Squilliam on his side, rolling over, Bozak off the road. And all of a sudden, Jim, we mentioned how Squilliam heading to the back of the field shook up Road Atlanta.
I feel so
how
bad
is it now
right
going to shake up this race?
I feel so bad right now. I hope that's
so bad. You shouldn't feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't believe in the commentator's curse either, but, you know.
Neither do I. Takes two to tango.
We literally just said we don't want him to do that again because that would mean he had a bad first lap, but.
So we said we didn't want him to do it.
Yes,
it's not like we wished it upon a star.
No, I know. I feel like this is a Disney commercial right now. I won't do that. Can't do that.
We'll get copyright.
James will kill me.
Anything Disney, it's gone.
Oh yeah, quick.
It's an immediate. Yeah,
quick.
They do not play around. So Nicolator at the moment putting some pressure on Nodovan here as they try and fight up towards the podium. This has worked out incredibly well for the likes of Beaver and Urko and Eat My Dust and Simply Steve up ahead. Because all those guys now are slightly less under pressure. Squilliam is still in pit lane.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll return. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
he's going laps down.
Yeah, at this point he's race over. I mean,
he's gone unfortunately. So that's it for him. He is done tonight. But what it does mean means that the door now opens to the likes of Nodovan and Nick Beaver to take the round win and get some solid points over him here in the feature race.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, at this point, Nodovan's got to be...
He's back out, sorry. Oh. He's back out on track. So he's not left. I think he might have actually hopped out of the car and then hopped back in again. So he is back and he is on track. Let's see where he is. Here he is here. So he is a lap down on Bozak and he's 2 laps down on the leaders. So he's got some work to do.
Oh!
That battle, though, is starting to cook up a storm as DC is further back. Here is Nicolator, and then here's DC up the inside on this one as well. So their battle is going on strong. But Steve and Nodovan have also got their battle happening too. Bozak is a lap down on these guys. So could he have a part to play in this as Nicolator looks to set it up the inside of DC. Job done for him at the moment. Urko and Nodovan do not want to get caught up with some lap traffic as Steve is now leading this on. They've now caught up to Beaver as well, who set the fast lap of the race, 129.12. But this is now allowed Eat My Dust to break away a little bit here, Jim. 2.18 seconds. How long is he going to last at the front of the field? He's not had the best of luck in this car this season.
He hasn't, no. But he's been fast.
He's been fast, but he hasn't had the racecraft, unfortunately, to keep it.
He wasn't Squilliam fast, but he's been right there in that next tier, you know. And at this point, right now he's got a gap, and the guys behind him are battling. That's a dream scenario for any guy leading a race.
Well,
but
he's now also set the fast lap at 128.67, so he's showing his pace. He's just got to keep it clean.
yeah, well, let's see. I mean, there's still a ton of time in this race. It's really going to depend on, he's out there now. He should be able to take care of his tires. He shouldn't be having to push the car too hard. These guys have kind of separated a little bit here. It was a pretty strong battle. Now they're just kind of, they're not hardcore battling. There's some good battles going on back here, though.
You can see DC and Nicolator, their battle is continuing on at this stage. As we run through the back section of this circuit on board with DC, we've got the overhead shot as well. Oh, but he's run it way wide, kept it out of the sand somehow, but has now given up position to AJ and Amerman. And here comes Bozak. He wanted to try and unlap himself, but he couldn't quite get there. So one simple mistake, Jim. One little section of circuit that's got a bit of debris. You run out wide, and off she goes. And it's so tough to come back from that.
Well, I'm trying to get a shot here. Okay, so you can see the distance that Nick Beaver is behind Eat My Dust now. And Beaver really doesn't have that much pressure behind him.
Well, he started to catch him, though. The gap's getting down closer and closer to 1.5 seconds. He's got a nice 1.5 second gap back to work on behind. He's under pressure here from Steve.
Yep.
With Nodovan in behind him as well. So their battle is going on strong at the moment.
Oh, man. Talk about not having any room. Yeah, he's on a horrible line, though. Oh. Well, that was surprising. Okay. Wow.
Worked out well for him.
It really did. I was surprised the way that I thought he was pinched off down there, man, and he just turned it down and drove it off the corner. And Steve went a little high there and clearly lost some time to him.
Yeah, he's dropped just that little bit of time further back. AJ is hot on the heels of Nicolator. So the battles are coming quick and fast, Jim, but we know that it is going to get a little bit, we're going to get that little bit of a lull period where the Jim and Hamish podcast begins before the final 10 minutes, where then we get some battles to the end.
No, clearly that's going to happen. They can't race hard for 40 minutes. It just
the natural attrition does not pan out that way. It's
I tell you what,
it's unrealistic to expect that as Mega and Black Bob Wallace still battling it out. It's funny, Jim, you mentioned tonight's topic. We could talk about Pasta being Yo
Mega.
Mamma mia. Round he goes.
That was a good one. We're in Italy.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got battles all over the place right now.
He will not be saying grazie ragazzi to that curb. This battle, though, between Urko and Nodovan is continuing on further up the road. Then we've got, I think that's Amerman. There.
Yeah, Amerman, yeah.
So there goes DC up the inside. One of the switchback couldn't quite get it. The car in behind is Bozak, who's a lap down on them.
Yes.
So he's got to try and make some moves
he's fast, though. He's right in there.
He's got pace. He's just got to try and stick with him if he can. And the battle up ahead of this little pack is this one here of AJ and Nicolator at the moment as well. So
it's getting spicy too, isn't it?
Oh, it is, Jim. It is getting very, very spicy. I was going to mention before that's been happened, we're in Italy. The topic of tonight's conversation would probably be favorite pasta.
I knew that was coming.
Or favorite pizza. I mean, that is the most. I don't drink wine, so I'm not going to talk about wine.
Yeah, I'm not a wine drinker either, man. I'm a foodie, and I want to love wine, but my wife is she loves wine. She appreciates good wine. I just don't.
No. I like my whiskey and my scotch. That's what I like. I like the taste of burnt wood more so than burnt berries or
charcoal.
grapes.
Charcoal is my flavor of choice.
Oh, exactly. I
love
a good
battle right
here,
though, man. Beaver and
it's a great battle.
Urko right here.
Yeah, and I think maybe try and work together a little bit, just try and get up to Beaver, because they know if they battle, they're going to just drop time. You know, like you drop a bag of beans, it's just going to go everywhere, and you're not going to be able to pick any of them up very quickly. So,
Man, did you miss? I cannot believe you just gave that opportunity away. It's like dropping a handful of spaghetti.
No, Jim, spaghetti's easier to pick up than a
No,
bag of
it's
beans.
not.
Come on. I didn't
It's
say
not.
how big the beans were.
They roll.
Yeah,
Those
which makes it
spaghettis
harder.
roll.
They
The
roll away.
spaghettis roll.
Nah, they just break. Just get a vacuum or a dustpan and brush, you'll be fine.
We're something else.
We are something else.
So what's our gap
Absolutely.
up here?
I
He's
actually,
closing.
you just reminded me of a good joke for you, Jim, and I'm going to pull it out because it is on topic for this circuit.
Oh, here we go.
Did you hear what happened to the famous Italian chef?
I did not. Tell me what happened to the famous Italian chef.
It was reported that he passed away.
Oh my God. I don't believe you have any children yet, but you're going to make a great dad because you are lining up with the dad jokes.
I will line them up prolifically, Jim. I will get them going. Don't you worry about that. I've specifically got in a pressurized chamber a pair of New Balance sneakers, ready to go, just all white with a little blue New Balance logo on them, some denim shorts, and then just like an oversized Hawaiian shirt that I can wear at the barbecue. You know, just ready to go.
Alrighty. Yep, I have New Balance shoes.
I knew it. Yep. Oh, exactly.
I
Jim.
used to be worse than I am now. My son and wife give me so much crap about it that I actually have been buying cooler shoes for the last few years. But it wasn't that many years ago that every pair of shoes I owned was a pair of leather white New Balance with a blue logo.
No, to be fair, I will be the dad that wears high top Converse Chuck Taylors, like, you know, or Jordan 1s. Like that'll be me.
I have some Jordans. I have a pair of Steph Curry's.
I've always yearned for a pair of Air Max 1s. I've yet to get them. I want a pair, but I've not been able to find any in my size. It's a struggle to get size 13 Jordans in Australia, so...
Yeah, you should try a 15.
Yeah, that would be... You'd have to almost get it custom made, surely.
No, we got them. 15s in every, every
Wasn't
little
Jordan's...
retail store. Yeah, no.
I was going to say, wasn't Jordan's actual shoe size 15?
Probably. He's my size. He's the same height as me.
Yeah, so he would have had the old big shoe size.
Yeah. You know what they say about big shoes and
big personalities, Jim.
No.
Big shoes, big
hands and big
personalities.
feet. Big shoes and big gloves.
That's right. And if the glove fits, then you're not
you
OJ.
Must have quit. Yeah, you must have quit. Okay. All right. We certainly didn't need to go there.
Well, you know, time will tell. At this stage of the race, we've got some great battles happening on track. Squilliam, though, the timing's actually corrected itself. Squilliam is in fact only a lap down with Bozak, so these guys are now going to have a good battle. They've just got to pass the field once, and they're back on the lead lap. So how hard can it be?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's fast. I'm not sure if he's that fast, though.
They get past the whole field and then repass them in 25 minutes.
Right.
He is capable, Jim. You underestimate the power of the squid.
Right. There would have to be a serious safety car incident.
He's going to ink all over the circuit, so then everyone slips off.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. All right.
Yep. Nick Beaver, though, has now started to chase down Eat My Dust at the front of the field, so he's looking to put some pressure on him.
Yeah, he's been hovering at that second to, 80, but 0.8 of a second to a second and a quarter behind him here for a few laps now. It seems to have kind of leveled out. I mean, unfortunately we're kind of getting to that point that you were talking about. That's there's really not any super close battles going on at this point.
Oh, apart from DC, Aimerman and Wallace and Cat Daddy,
Right. Well, that's
who've also got the lap traffic with them too, so that's actually going to start to put some pressure on their battle as well. So
go back up to this
we've got
view
some
just to see it
cross-positioned battles happening at this stage.
So, people out there in chat, what do you think of the new picture-in-picture feature?
Whoa!
Oh, big wreck!
There's contact!
That's a
Aimerman
big
and
one.
DC.
All right, I'll get that one. Go ahead.
Okay, well, Aimerman's having to get back on the road now. Wallace is under pressure here from Cat Daddy of Jason Wanaki. This was the moment, though. Down at turn 1. Just maybe a little bit overzealous under brakes. And contact's made.
Wow, let's go take a chopper eye view of that and see. This is the angle we had on when it actually happened. Oh, he sailed it off in there, man.
Yeah, he just...
I mean, I don't know if he missed his braking point. It did not look like, DC slowed ahead of him, abnormally or anything. I don't know. That was,
No.
That was a bit strange there. I don't know. Could be just that split-second loss of focus. It doesn't take a lot.
Well, the moment happened for Aimerman. I'm going to pre-warn you, Jim. This joke's about to be a real stretch. Aimerman hit him, saw his front wing off the car, and then thought to himself, "Oh, fettuccine al wingo."
Oh my word! You're going to get canned. There's no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse for that whatsoever. These people didn't do you anything. There's no reason to do that to them. All right.
I thought it was good, Jim. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought that joke was a real winguini.
Oh my word! I may never eat pasta again. So we got people pitting here. Let's see. No, that's all, I guess. Well, no,
Aimerman's he's coming to pit. He's coming to fix his car without that wing on it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was
Yeah.
feta wingy or whatever you said.
It's fettuccine al wingo.
Yeah, that.
Oh, Sam, my ears are bleeding from the pain. You can steal that one, Sam. I know that you're a dad, so you can steal that joke.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Squilliam though, he hasn't had a crash. He's kept going. What has happened with him? Unless they've just pulled up. I don't know. He left pit lane, so I'm going to assume that Aimerman just pulled it up to let someone past at this point of the race.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be...
Thank you, Haley. Appreciate it. The dad jokes add to the entertainment value. Thank you very much.
They would if they were jokes. That was terrible. A good quality joke, I'm all for. That was not it.
Jim, I love a good knee slapper of a joke, I must say.
Somebody needs to slap you with a knee, all right. That's the truth. It's like mixed martial arts here. Pull some Muay Thai knees out here or something. And no, that's not going to be the topic of the day either, so. I thought food was, but then you ruined that with these horrible jokes.
My partner, who I'm not even married to, has just shown me text on her phone stating, "I require a divorce after these jokes."
Yes. Yes. I see. She probably won't marry you because clearly she's got some sense. So there's that.
No, Jim, she's only got dollars. She's got no sense.
No sense. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Right. She's only got pence. I had that conversation with James last night.
We have got sense here in Australia. We don't have pence.
Right. Quid.
Yeah, we don't have quid. We have dollars. I do have to ask you, Jim, and this is
Here we go.
This is a real world renowned.
This is gonna be terrible.
I didn't know because you've got some good general knowledge about you, and I need to know if you know how much salt do lobsters use when cooking pasta?
I have no idea.
Just a pinch.
Of course. Oh. I'm getting queasy. I probably shouldn't have eaten before this broadcast.
Well, unfortunately, Jim, to lock the jokes away, you would need a key, and you've gnocchi. So.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna break the record, Jim, for the amount of dad jokes we can provide.
Well, I've broken
in a
all
single
kinds
show.
of records in the last week or so. You know, did a NASCAR race last week that James was driving in, and they had 20 cautions. He was involved in 15 of them.
Why am I not surprised?
He was driving over people, through people, around people.
I'm glad you told me this, Jim, because I'm going to bring it up to him on Monday.
And guess where it was
as
at?
Beaver comes into pit lane, Martinsville.
Martinsville, that's right.
Of course. Beaver into pits at the halfway point of the race. Notovan's in too. So the first stops for these drivers, Eat My Dust and Urko, have now gone a lap longer at this stage. So as has simply Steve as well. Sam's also just pointed out he can close the browser tab. You can't run away, Jim. You
I
are
can't.
stuck
No,
with me
I'm
for
here.
the next 20 minutes at least.
Yeah, I gotta hope that the action heats up on track, because something's got to distract him. I need to speak to your partner for a second. Get her to throw some kind of distraction up over there.
Well, you know, Jim, if you've got a pretty penne, you can buy a pretty good pasta for yourself.
Oh, my word.
Oh, no, I have just seen something that's happened, though. Apparently Nonovan and Beaver have had a crash, but they've kept going. What in the hell happened to them?
What?
Or have they literally just slowed? What just happened on the pit exit to them?
It's had to be a slow...
Absolutely nothing. It's just lying to us about people exiting pit lane and about them crashing, apparently.
It is, yeah, well.
Yeah. It thinks they crash. A nice little glitch in the system for us, for those guys. So, for Eat My Dust, this is now the gap
glitch
between
in the
him.
Matrix.
This is true. Eat My Dust is now in pit lane, so we'll keep an eye on Beaver and see where he ends up.
Yeah,
Urko's now running round for another lap. So the pit cycle is well and truly into part here for us. And I think Bozak might be out. So he's no longer on the timing, Jim. And Squilliam is chasing him down and he's not moving.
Yeah, he is not.
I have a feeling he may have actually disappeared. Eat My Dust is on pit exit though. Beaver's coming down the straight. Is he going to get him or is he going to lose time by not going long? He's got him. He's got him on exit. So the long pit exit has cost Eat My Dust, who's going to tuck in behind Nick Beaver. So Beaver now would arguably have to be provisional race leader because he's got no one ahead of him who is pit already.
Right.
And he managed to get quite a gap over Eat My Dust by coming in early.
Some cold tires back there, man. Eat My Dust ran a little wide back there. Yeah, that's... I don't know if I'll call that a mistake, but certainly his pit strategy didn't seem to pan out for him there. That's how far back is he? Almost 3 seconds. So yeah, that was pretty costly right there.
Oh, Steve comes into pit lane as well, so he is in.
Yep.
To his pit box. So even through all the jokes and laughter of dad jokes, Jim, we still get some quite exciting action for these drivers on track. So Steve's in, Beaver's got him. Well and truly passed. Does he come out ahead of Eat My Dust? No, he doesn't. Does he come out ahead of Nonovan? No, he doesn't. What about AJ? He's a fair whack back off of Steve at the moment. So I have a feeling he's going to come out still in behind Nonovan. He is. So he's not given up a spot to AJ as Schwab now comes into pit lane. So for Urko, Black Bob Wallace, they all need to come through pit lane take their stop in this race. Nick Beaver is the provisional leader of proceedings at the moment. P4 on the road, but looks to go to P1 once the pit stop cycle has completed. I'll have to send it to you post-race, Jim. I've actually got, ironically, even though with all these jokes we've been having, ironically, I have actually got a Texas pasta dish recipe that I'll have to send you. It is yol dente.
It's what?
Yol dente instead of al dente.
That might have been the worst y'all I've ever heard in my life.
Sorry, yol dente. How's that?
Oh, I literally couldn't understand. Man, here goes Nodovan. He's hard on Eat My Dust here. And that's allowing Nick Beaver to get on up the road a little bit too.
Yeah, he's really, really starting to push on. So if Nodovan and Eat My Dust continue their battle, they are going to end up a world behind Nick Beaver. Urko's on the exit of pit lane, but he's dropped to both Eat My Dust and Nodovan. Oh, actually, he's in between them at the moment as they exit pits. So this is about as close as it's going to get. He wants to move, but he is on... Well, he's not changed tyres, so the tyres should still be nice and warm for him at this stage as well. Nicoletta exits pits. He exits behind Simply Steve. So pit cycle's pretty much complete, except for Black Bob Wallace, who we expect to come through the lane and then drop position to Nick Beaver.
We're back to some nice battles here.
Yeah.
You know, Nick Beaver's got it stretched out a little bit by himself there, but other than that, we got some tight action going on right here.
Yeah, Beaver, I mean, to his credit, he wouldn't feel so bad about it, but he does find himself taught alone at the front of the field.
Oh, my word. Oh, whew. Man, the viewers have got to be just dropping off like flies.
I had to leave you with good ones, Jim, I must say.
Oh, please.
For J2iCS, I had to leave you with good ones.
Where are they at? Where are the good ones at?
Where are they at?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
They're in Germany, Jim. When you go there, you can greet them with Gluten Tag.
Oh. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nice. Very good, Jim. Very good. I like how you just passed to that one to side.
I did.
You want my sauce for where it comes from? It's all made from tomatoes and herbs.
Oh, let's watch this battle here. We've really got a great battle going on with Nodovan and Eat My Dust.
No, we do. It's this battle has been really materializing into a fantastic battle. Urko's not too far behind them now. He has given up some time by coming out of pits right behind them, and their tyres have re-warmed up across that lap. So they're really starting to put pressure on each other now. Not everyone wants to get past Eat My Dust. Eat My Dust wants to get his podium.
Eat My Dust is really, really, really driving a wide car right now.
He is. It's probably been his best race of the season. I think we can both admit, Jim. This has been his best effort thus far. To stay in not only this far up the field, but actually battling nice and clean, which we love to see.
My question is how long is Nodovan gonna, take that and before he just pull something really aggressive on him here?
Well, he doesn't want to send it because it could end very poorly.
No, it could.
He's got to be calculated about it. He has got a bit of time back to work on behind him, so he's not under direct pressure behind at the moment, but he needs to try and pull something quite swift to get past Eat My Dust.
I mean, he's
for sure.
He clearly looks faster to me. He's all over the place back there behind him and still maintaining constant pressure.
Yeah,
on him,
he's definitely got pace. He's just got to try and get the car. Maybe focus on a run out of a corner and get it done down the straight if he can, because I don't know if he's going to be able to get through whilst Eat My Dust is blocking the inside lines.
Well, and one of the things that we caught from Nodovan during the post-race interview after race one was he said the cars didn't have the draft. Ooh, look at this. Golly.
Oh, he is.
I mean, he's all over. He's going to end up. He's going to cause some trouble there if he doesn't.
That's not the kind of blocking that we want to see, though. That's pretty extreme.
That is pretty extreme. See, like that run wide like that to run him out wide. That's
Maybe the smart play is keep the pressure on him, make him run the tires out, and then you can just get the grip and pass.
Well, the
him.
thing is, if you watch the way Donovan's driving, he's putting a lot of pressure on his own tires, which would be a concern of mine. If I'm, looking at the race from his
I think
perspective.
at the moment, Eat My Dust is probably driving in the mirrors a little bit.
Oh, a little.
Well,
I don't know that he's
I'll make it
looking
sound
out
better
the
than
front.
it actually is. Sculliam's had a crash as well further back in the field. Let's have a quick look at this. What's happened to him? So what has happened with good old Sculliam?
Caught that curbing.
Ooh. Yeah, and round she went. And then he's had another one after that as well.
Tires are all
it's
hot
the
and
same
angry
one.
now.
It's the same one. So he had to flick spinning around, get it back on track. So.
Well, speaking of
Was
that,
not looking
it
healthy.
looks like Donovan, to some degree, has slowed up swinging the car around as much because, he's probably starting to feel that in his tires a little bit. But, he's, I don't know. If they steward these races after the fact, there could be some level of penalty possibly handed out for the excessive blocking.
But he's done it inside line. He gave him a little knock. Said, no,
man.
I'm here. That's my move.
I mean, you knew that was going to eventually happen, I mean, you just knew it, but...
And now, unfortunately, Urko's now stuck behind him as well, so...
Yes.
He's going to try and get this job done if he can, but that was...
Oh!
And there's contact made, and round goes Eat My Dust.
I'm pretty sure that Urko, might have accidentally touched him there.
Have a look.
Oh,
yeah, it was net code. He wasn't ready for him to slow up so much into that corner.
Was it netcode?
Yeah, that was net code. Because if we look at this, let's go slow here.
Can we go on board? Yeah.
We can. We'll go on board with Urko. So watch this. So it comes through. Let's go. Just, no, that's not a very good angle at all. So you'll see here, net code. Round he goes. He wasn't ready for him to slow up, and he's actually moved over as he's braking. So that's a moving under. It appears to be a bit of a moving under brake scenario, but there wasn't anything Urko could do to avoid him. Pretty much, he wasn't ready for him to slow up so much.
So
Eat My Dust is coming to pit lane. Get the car fixed up, and outside the top 10, he rocks and rolls at this stage. Black Bob Wallace, is battling it out with Nicolator, though. With AJ at the moment, inside of the top 10. This is for P6 on the road. There we can see Nick Beaver in the lead.
I was trying to catch a scenic view here, so if we could see the gap, it's huge. It's massive.
Apart from static TV, where you have to quickly click on Donovan as Beaver comes past. It's pretty hard to get that.
Yeah, I'm at the highest blimp we got, and it's huge. Look at that. It's from there to there. That's a big gap. Wow. Yeah, I would have to say Beaver was clearly the recipient there. Somebody's coming off pit or down pit road.
It's your Omega.
That was... let's see, what else we got going on? We got this little battle right here happening.
Yep. Looking off the back of Black Bob Wallace at the moment. He's got AJ in behind. And their battle is starting to heat up a little bit here. I've also just noticed Eat My Dust and Urko is actually in the same... They're in the same channel at the moment as well, so...
Oh, are they?
Talking as that happened. Yeah, they are.
I mean, you know what? I mean, if that was just playful, that's the way they race. Their friend, that's fine too. I mean, but, which I could see, having that kind of, as James would say, a right little ding dong with your friend, mixing it up like that. If that's what that was, then that was cool. But if it wasn't that, then it was probably just a wee bit uncool.
Well, it's, hopefully their relationship is still nice and strong off the back of that, Jim. Hopefully it's not like the relationship between Pastor and Cooking Water, where it eventually becomes a bit strained, but hopefully it's nice and clean.
Ooh. I'm not even. I've got nothing. I'm going to focus on this battle right here with Black Bob and AJ.
It's been, I mean, AJ's not quite getting up to the back of him just yet. But it's been going on strong. Last lap for Wallace was a 29.37. AJ was about 400 slower, so they're running about the same pace, which means AJ's not really gaining anything. As they cross the line, it was a 30.01 and then a 29.9. So AJ gained about a 10th on that lap. So they're swapping and changing in terms of who has the better lap times at the moment. But with, about 4.5 minutes to go, AJ's going to have to start to put some pressure on him now if he wants to get into that top 6 position.
Agreed. I don't think Wainaki's got enough. Maybe. I mean, he's going to have to really start turning some fast lap times, though, to run those guys down.
Yeah, he's going to have to start running in the 28s if he wants to chase him down. He's got a 1.8 second gap. So
one thing I did notice is nobody turned a lap in the 27s during this race.
No, and I think that's probably down to maybe the low fuel running and qualifying, possibly. I don't know, or just not trying to burn the tires.
Well, we had a 27 pretty early on in the first race, but they probably didn't have as much fuel on board, and also maybe track temperatures were a degree or two cooler.
Yeah, but Squilliam did say the track temp had gone up. It was about 27 prior to this race, so could have very easily gone up again at this point as well. I've actually just thought of a way we can show how big the gap is between the leader and P2. If we look at the track map, it's actually going to show it. It's not even going to show it for me. How rude. How rude of it not to show it for me.
I know, right? It worked good earlier.
Yeah, now it doesn't want to work. Oh, that's fine, though. But Nodovan has...
That was a good thought you had there. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
the funny thing is, I probably could do... I'll somewhere have a track map, I promise. There it is.
Yeah, we can kind of see how big the gap is.
So... Okay, so that's... let's see. There's Nick Beaver. As you can see, he's lit up in green right now. And then I'm going to click on Donovan, and that's Donovan. So,
yeah, that's the gap.
That's
between them.
That's pretty large
about
gap.
A corner. Yeah, about a corner for most of the circuit. So I mean, it's it's tight for them as AJ's now finally gotten past Wallace. That has now allowed Wainaki to start to chase him down. That gap's now down to less than a second. So he started to find some pace over them. He gained about 0.8 of a lap over Wallace the last time by. And now he's right there with them. He's right there with them on this battle and looking to continue to apply the pressure as best he can across the final few minutes of this race. We're still on replay, Jim. So that's...
I was showing the pass.
Oh, okay, yep. No, that's all right.
Yeah, I was showing the pass from
that is
AJ passing Black Bob.
All good. So we've got about a minute and a half left.
For once, I was on replay and intended to be.
Well, that's good. Oh, no, not event. Has he had a crash? No, he's going again, but what has happened? Did he maybe half spin it? Because he's given up time to Urko now.
Oh, sorry. That was my... Oh!
Have a look.
Did somebody just shoot off course there?
That was Jason Wainaki. Oh, that was the spin from not event. That was how he went round. Let's have a quick replay of Jason Wainaki, the cat daddy himself. How did this happen to him? Oh, caught the curb. And round she blows. And he would be wheelie feeling it at the moment, Jim.
Oh, come on. You're not allowed to do that with less than a minute to go in the race, by the way. Since there's less than a minute, I need to give Nick Beaver his props.
Yeah, he needs his props at the moment. The other screen's currently got that battle for P2 with Urko in behind Nodovan at the moment. But Beaver's run an exceptional race, absolutely exceptional race, and one that will, get him a good chunk of points over Squilliam, who's further back in the field, and has really spiced up the championship standings and the championship order of things leading into the next round in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, that's it's going to be exciting for the points battle for sure.
So as Beaver runs up towards the final few corners, Urko and Notovan's battle continues on the bottom screen as well. I would hope though, Jim, that at least the viewers and J2iCS has appreciated the dad jokes here tonight. I've got one more lined up for the post show as Beaver traverses around the final corner. He'll take the win in race 2 at Misano here this evening. The bottom screen, we've got Nodovan about to cross the line in P2 with Urko in P3 as well. To make up our podium here in the feature race, simply Steve Nicolator for your top 5. As we'll kill the double screen in just a moment. AJ's managed to outlast Black Bob Wallace and Gavin Amerman too. So it was a good race in the end, Jim. Good race, filled with some good battles. Filled with some horrible jokes, I will admit.
There was some bad jokes in there for sure. But,
absolutely horrible.
They were horrible. I was just being kind. If there's a comedic union in Australia, they should probably issue a cease and desist.
Well, my partner said to me, she bet me that I couldn't make a car out of spaghetti, Jim. You should have seen the look on her face when I drove past her.
Oh, here we go. All right. Well, there you go. Thank everyone for that. Or not. All right, where are we at? Who has not crossed the line yet? Somebody.
Well, Jim, we're quite a few months away from it, but why didn't the fettuccine go out for Halloween?
I have no idea.
It was too Alfredo.
Oh. Oof. And the really scary part about this is that you're not actually reading these from anywhere. This kind of stuff appears in your brain.
Yeah, it's just materializing as we go along.
Yeah, that's what I'd call it, materializing. So
I hope our relationship has not been strained off of this, Jim. I really, really do.
How many times are you going to use the strain joke? Seriously?
Well, that's twice now.
You're better than that, okay?
Well, some would claim, some may not.
All right. Do we have results yet? I really feel like we should.
No, we're waiting on Eat My Dust to finish the race. He's actually crawled across the line. He's not even made the line yet. I don't know what he's done. I think he's actually crashed.
Oh, that's Heat 1 results.
We do.
We want
yeah. Why
feature
is he
race
crashed?
Results. There's your feature
he's
race
in
results.
He's in neutral going across the line. What has he done? Oh, well. Feature race results as follows. Nick Beaver takes the win over Nodovan and Urko on the podium. Simply Steve, Nicolator for the top 5. AJ, hang on, I'm going to be able to make that bigger for myself. Black Bob Wallace, Gavin Aberman, Sneezy Jr., Ryan Schwab for your top 10. Eat My Dust, Squilliam, Pebble, Yamega, Jason Winaki, the Cat Daddy, Bozak, DC, and Paper Bag at the back of the field didn't even make a lap in this race, unfortunately. We've got our podium finishers in the waiting room. We'll start with Urko, who's caught up with Jim Cunningham post-race.
Hey.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Pretty good.
All right,
Pretty good.
You had a nice race tonight.
Unexpected. But yeah, super happy.
No, you had a good run there, and some interesting incidents along the way there. But overall, it was definitely a good showing by you. What'd you think of this track?
Oh, I love this track. We raced here last season in GTE. Loved it then. It's just so much fun. Yeah, I love it. I don't love the track limits. They're a little bit too loose, but as you could probably see watching tonight. But yeah, it's a fun track. Great.
Yeah, no, it's I didn't know you guys raced GTE last season. That would have I love me some GTE.
Yeah, that we did that in endurance. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's
Love
awesome.
those.
Love
those.
Of course, the GTPs have been their own fair share of fun this year, especially with the new tire model coming out.
Yeah, and they feel great on the new tires. I'm not a huge fan of the class, but the tire update is really, really nice. So the rain's been good too.
Yeah, so you got anybody you want to shout out to while you up here with your nice podium finish tonight?
Oh, for sure. Definitely got to give a shout out to my teammate DC. He's been having a rough go of it lately, so shout out to him, Steve, Lucas. I guess I'll give one to Nicolator and a little apology to Lucas if the push to pass was a little too strong tonight.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you in I guess 2 weeks. Well, next week I guess for the endurance, but hopefully you can repeat this podium finish and start making up that last little bit of ground in the points race.
Well, I love your optimism. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but we'll say, hopefully I'll see you guys next week as well.
I'm optimistic. I am. I'm ever the optimist.
I hear you.
All right, man.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks for having me. See ya.
I'm pessimistic, Jim.
You are. All right. You drag Nodovan in here now.
Yeah, Mr. Nodovan in P2 here this evening. Nodovan, hello once again. Congratulations. Another podium to your name. We saw, and we were commenting on it throughout the show, Eat My Dust making life a little bit difficult when you're trying to get past him. We thought he might have been over blocking a little bit, especially when he pretty much ran you out of road down the straight. But how was that race for you?
Yeah, I mean it's always easy for me to say, yeah, he shouldn't have been doing that. He was blocking too hard, but you're attacking, right? Like it's like I'm gonna have a different perspective as to him. But it's overall, I don't think we made too much contact. I think when I finally did get around him, I kind of sent it a little bit because I was getting a little tired of looking at the back of his car. But I think. But overall, I think we were relatively clean. I think he could have gave a little bit more space in a couple more spots, but he also probably think I could have gave a little bit more space in a couple spots too. But that's just racing. But overall, I was a little disappointed I came up behind him because I was like, oh no, he's not gonna just let me take second, like that's just not what you do. So I'm like, okay, hopefully I can get around him fast. You can see how that turned out, but once I did get past him, I think I had the pace on Beaver, not enough to catch him in 10 minutes, but if I didn't spend 5 laps behind Eat My Dust, I think I probably would have had him. It's always hard to say though.
Well, what's funny is literally probably 30 seconds before you just sent it on him, I said, I wonder, how long Nodovan's going to sit back here and take this before he just takes matters into his own hands. And you did send it, and he had to be expecting it, even though he still kind of turned down on you a little bit there. And then I think he thought better of it, especially given, the previous couple of minutes of driving history. At first he was just driving a wide car. Then it became just, nothing against Eat My Dust, but, he got a little carried away there with the blocking, in my opinion. He was, he was clearly moving under braking and stuff like that. And ultimately, right after you got by him, that kind of bit him in the behind on the next car. So, but congratulations to you, man. Another solid finish. You're the ever humble guy who keeps popping up going, oh, I don't ever drive these cars. I'm just, here, and
I don't think I can say that anymore.
Scoring podiums every week, I mean, it's so, that was classic you there for a while. But no, I think at this point, you're a contender every week when you show up, if you can, keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble. Obviously coming up through the field, sometimes that can bite you. We know it, it had some ill effects tonight with Squilliam and Bozak. Some of those guys got into trouble, but another great finish for you. I know we already had one set of shout outs for you tonight, but I bet you probably got a few more, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to obviously shout out to Squilliam. He kept it going even after a pretty rough first lap. I had a front row seat to that, and part of me is like, yeah, that was nice to eat some popcorn too. But another part is like, oh man, that sucks, because that was in no part his fault. But he kept it he kept going, and he got some points, so that's always a good call. And yeah, so shout out to him. He kept it going even after a tough first lap, and when you have a tough first lap, it's like I'm out of it now, right? So it's kind of hard to keep going.
It is. That's tough, and it probably helped the points battle a little bit, though. That should make that a little more entertaining.
Yeah, that's where the popcorn comes from.
I bet. So, all right, man. Well, congratulations again. Like I said, humble Nodovan. Maybe we'll see you next week. Who knows?
I hope so.
Yes, me too. All right, buddy. Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up on the ticket, we've got our race winner here for the feature race. Nick Beaver once again sits at the top of the standings. Nick, great effort from you here this evening to get a win in race number 2. We saw you undercut Eat My Dust to get into the lead of the race. Was that tactical just to save yourself a battle, or was that tactical to save yourself with a battle with Eat My Dust?
Yeah, it was a tactic to try to get some clean air at least. Eat My Dust is definitely notorious for being one of the hardest people to pass in this league. And I mad respect to it. He's fantastic to race with. But knowing that, and knowing that we were in the fuel window, I attempted the undercut. Now, I don't know if he took tires, but I know Nodovan did, and I did not. So, when everything cycled through and Nodovan was about 4 seconds back, I thought maybe I had a really good pit entry and exit. But turns out they took tires, and it definitely showed at the end of the race there, as Nodovan was really closing the gap.
Well, he felt pretty strongly that he might have had something for you if he hadn't to spend about 5 laps behind Eat My Dust trying to get by him. So
yeah, and I think that's definitely true. And I was rooting on Eat My Dust the whole time.
I'm sure you were.
I was, because I knew Nodovan was fast. I didn't have a straight up raw speed today. It was just clean enough to stay out front. So.
Well, your pit stop cycle was a brilliant strategical move, and it ultimately in the end got you out front, which is you had clean air on your nose, and those guys behind you started battling a little bit. And next thing you know, you're 6 seconds out in front. That's a nice gap to have over anybody, whether Eat My Dust is back there holding them up or not.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the clock could not tick any faster.
I'm sure that's probably the slowest. You watching those seconds tick off, it's like it's in slow motion, I'm sure.
Right, it was. Yep.
Well, congratulations, man. Nice win tonight, and it's clearly you demonstrated you put it all together tonight for sure. So, you got anybody you want to shout out to while we got you in here?
I got a shout out. The top 5 or so. Nodovan, obviously, very quick. I was very impressed and had some great racing with Erico. He really really picked it up today, and it was a lot of fun racing side by side, both in the heat and the feature. Simply Steve was there. Oh, Nick got 5th. That's awesome. And obviously, Squilliam's in the league of his own, so I guess that was also lucky of me that he had an incident at the beginning. So, everyone's quick. A lot of fun racing with these guys. And then shout out to my girlfriend Hannah. She's over on the bed sleeping. She opened her eyes. She's not sleeping, but
right.
Anyway, yeah, I'm about to join her. I am exhausted.
Well, you had a good run tonight. It's if I knew if you were on speakers or headset, if I knew you were on speakers, I'd have said, man, thanks for the webcam shot there too. But
Oh, dang it. Yeah. She's
that would
looking at me very
that would
suspiciously. I
that
had
would have got
headphones on.
that would have got our eyes open for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, that's incredible.
All right, man. Well, we enjoyed watching it tonight, and like I said, congratulations, and we'll see you next week. Obviously, I know you like them GTP cars, so we'll see you next week, and then 2 weeks after for another leg of the Sprint Series here.
Absolutely looking forward to it. Thanks, guys, for putting on the show. I hope to be talking to you next week.
Yes, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll see you next week, no doubt.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, man.
Bye.
Well, Jim, that'll bring it into our show. It'll bring it into Misano for J2iCS, the Just Two Idiots Cup Series for the Sprint Series here tonight. At round 5, it was a pretty good race.
It was.
Pretty good race. I'm excited to see what the endurance race brings us next week in the GTP cars. I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well.
I got caught up in all of this action tonight, and the time just passed us by.
Jim, you're just as bad as me, and I love it. Fantastic.
And I had to close out with one. My dog's even whining over that one. It was so bad. That's how rough that one was.
Oh, that was.
He literally, as soon as I said it, he started whining.
You wolf say that, Jim.
Yes, I wolf.
But we appreciate everyone's time joining us here this evening. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well to the JP Broadcasting channel to get notified whenever we go racing here. We've got so much racing across the world, across a multitude of series, all throughout the rest of April and in towards the rest of 2025 as well. So we appreciate your time, appreciate you taking time out of your lives, out of your day, out of your evening, whatever it may be. So join us here on the broadcast here this evening. I've been Hamish Munro with Jim Cunningham alongside. Appreciate everybody's time, as I said. We'll see you guys next week for the Endurance Series. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and pasta la vista.